Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of J Bros Cooking.
On this episode, we're going to be making chicken parmesan.
Chicken parmesan is definitely one of my favorites, along with a lot of other people.
Something we grew up on, especially around the holidays. Something we both love to cook and eat. And we're going to be showing you how to make that today.
So I'm going to take the oil and just pour it in the pan here.
We're using 2 cups of oil because we're using a fairly large pan here. I'm going to go ahead. We're also using 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm going to go ahead and clean these. These got a good amount of fat on them.
The oven's at temperature. So I'm going to break the eggs right here.
Today we're using 2 eggs. Joe's cracking those. And to that, we're going to add about 4 tablespoons of milk. These chicken breasts I've trimmed to cut the fat off. I'm going to go ahead and cut them down into thinner pieces so they'll cook nice and evenly. Now I went ahead and cut this chicken nice and thin, but in addition to cutting the chicken down, we're going to go ahead and place it between 2 pieces of parchment paper. And we're going to just use a rolling pin and use it to flatten this chicken out. We want to get it nice and thin as possible so it'll cook nice and evenly. This also make it nice and tender. And that ought to do it. As you can see, it gives you a nice, thin chicken cutlet. It's going to be tender and cooked nice and evenly. Now, we're also using, to bread these, we have a cup of seasoned breadcrumbs and a half a cup of Panko breadcrumbs. To that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of dried oregano and basil. We're also going to be adding 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic and a nice fresh grating, probably about a half a cup of Pecorino Romano.
But we're not exactly sure of the exact measurement because as long as there's enough cheese, that's the goal. Not too little. We want a lot of cheese. Me and cheese have been friends for many, many years.
I'm going to go ahead and give that a quick mix. It's real simple. We take the chicken, go into the egg wash, into the breadcrumbs, into the oil. I'll show you how to do that right now. All right, got that guy good and coated. Go right into the oil.
Yeah. Turn that up to about medium. Okay, so now I'm going to flip the chicken to chicken parmesan. Well, it's not quite chicken parmesan yet.
It's been 3 minutes. It was frying on the first side.
Trim this bad boy.
All right, our first 2 pieces of chicken are just about done. We're going to add some sauce to our pan we have here. That's going to go into the oven because these are going to finish in the oven. This is the homemade tomato sauce we made in the last episode. We're going to spread this around in the pan. And these first 2 pieces of chicken we're ready to pull out and put in here.
And if you want the recipe for this sauce, we will put a link. It's just about ready. Now we're gonna just take the chicken out. The rest of the chicken.
They're nice and golden brown. I'm going to go ahead and add about probably 2 good heaping tablespoons of sauce on top of each one. Knock them off with a little bit of the fresh pecorino. Now this dish is a great dish if you wanted to, because we're going to show you the next step right now. We're going to finish this in the oven. But if you were making this a day ahead of time and you're not going to want to use it till the next day, you could stop at this step right here, cover it with some tin foil, put it in the refrigerator, and then pop it out about an hour before you want to eat and bake it off the next day and it'd be nice and fresh. I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with a little bit of whole milk mozzarella. We're going to go ahead and pop these in the oven. Now we're going to be running this at 350.
Oh, looks like it's all done.
Alrighty, it smells great. This was a total of 30 minutes in the oven.
And it is ready to be eaten. Or at least I'm ready to eat it.
Yeah, we probably should let it cool down a little bit.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a few minutes.
Burn our mouths pretty good on this. Smells delicious. So that is chicken parmesan. It's just that easy.
And if you don't like chicken parmesan, I'm sorry. That's on you.
Chicken parmesan, usually you compare this with a nice spaghetti. Like I said, we use our homemade sauce. You have a little bit of that left over and you can pair it right with your spaghetti. Another option is if you wanted to do this for like a lunch, you could turn this into, get yourself a nice piece of crusty bread and make yourself a chicken parm sandwich. Ooh. And that is delicious.
That's a whole nother episode.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you have a recipe that you want us to try, leave that in the comments. And we'll see if maybe that's in our wheelhouse and we could have that in a future episode.
Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
1 teaspoon of garlic or